Good day. In this recording, I'll be going over a demo of an e-commerce platform I have built for a company called EasyGo. So in this demo, there'll be primarily two interfaces. The current one, which we can see in the Microsoft Edge browser, which represents the interface that an administrator or tourism company would view when interacting with the EasyGo platform. The other interface we can see in the Firefox browser shows the interface that trip goers would go or tourists would view when they interact with the EasyGo platform. Now, this is the landing page, which shows some of the trips and the curators that EasyGo would work with, as long as an option to download the EasyGo application from the Google Play Store. At the bottom are links that would direct people to and from both interfaces. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm using two different browsers. So the EasyGo platform is built for a startup, and as such, one of its primary requirements is that any product built for it must be fast growing and able to expand with the startup. So, as previously communicated to Mr. Sampa, I am the founder of EasyGo, and I'm building this project for the platform. So, this is the EasyGo's current landing page showing the domain to which the e-commerce platform will be moved to upon completion, where it shows the landing page just shows information about EasyGo and then gives links to become testers, curators, so on and so forth. So the EasyGo e-commerce platform is built with the future in mind. As such, there are several tables and several restraints that control the kinds of information that can enter the EasyGo platform. So we can see here that there are considerations for trip notifications, which would allow tourism companies to send information to people who have booked trips. There are general notifications. There are media feeds, which relates to videos and pictures about trips. There are columns for location, which would help targeted advertisements for people on the EasyGo platform, as well as transactions, which is currently linked only to bookings where people have made payments for trips. However, with future expansions, there would be several more tables that are connected to the transactions table. Another pertinent feature of the code that has built the EasyGo platform, it's its ability to scale, as I said. So this is the media processor, which currently helps upload images to the for trips on EasyGo. So we can see that over here, the image processor is built with the capability of adding multiple images at the same time for future expansion. And then this is the code that uploads the image where it creates a location for the image, so on and so forth. Because it's a startup that has a mobile application, considerations have been made in the code to make it ready to be deployed as a REST API. So we can see that there are parameters in the authentication processor which handles different kinds of actions relating to authentication. So signing up, logging in, logging out, signing up as a curator, so on and so forth. This can easily be modified and made into a REST API as and when necessary by the company. So we can see further expansions of the code where a lot of it has been segmented into controllers, classes, and other linking files. And this makes it more modular and easy to read for whoever improves upon the code. So moving on to the platform, I would like to show trip the TripGoer platform. That's the platform that tourists would see. And then from here, they can view featured trips, which would be a future implementation of the EasyGo platform, as well as download the mobile application from Play Store, view the trip creators that EasyGo works with, and then other information about the company. So from here, they can enter search queries for trips that they may be interested in. So for instance, someone may enter just trip, and then this would go through the EasyGo catalog and then return information about trips on the platform. Should a query be given about something that does not exist, no results are shown for that query. So clicking on trips, you can view all the trips on EasyGo even without signing in. So the user can also tap on the trip to view more information about the trip, where they can see the description, the locations that the trip visits, as well as the activities included in the trip. And from here as well, the user can see the next date of the trip, the cost, number of seats remaining, as well as add to their wish list or book for a future time. So I'm going to create an account for the trip curator platform, and by entering random information and trying to log in, we can see that the HTML validation is triggered, and then more validation is triggered for by JavaScript. So I go to create account, I type my name, email, password, and then without signing in, we realize that validation is triggered for password strength and gender and country. So I'm just going to make a few changes because I already have an account in that name. So using my HSC email, I'm going to use the same for my passwords. And you realize that it does validation about whether the confirmed password matches the real one. So I'm going to enter a country and a gender and tap sign up, and then my account is created and I'm redirected to the login page. Now, because I have an account to which the payment processing receipt will be sent to, I am going to log in with that account. So once I log in, I'm directed to the trip listing pages where I can see all the trips on the platform. I can tap on a trip and then add that trip to my wish list. So tapping on wish list, I can view the trip that I have, and I can check the availability, bringing me back to information about the trip, or remove the trip entirely from my wish list. So going back to my wish list, you can see my wish list is empty. Now quickly switching to the admin as well. I already have an account, so I would skip the verification process and then just log in. Now the dashboard is built with the growth and expandability of the EasyGo platform in mind. And as such, you can see that there are provisions made where the curator would be able to view very quick metrics about his or her performance on EasyGo or the health of their business, view transactions related to trips, view a calendar, their next trip, recent bookings, and then the distribution of trips on a map in the dashboard. So the curator can also view all the trips that they have on the platform. And in this instance, this particular trip has two images, which would explain the two images we see, the two trips we see here, which relate to the same trip. Which the reason for this design is that most trip platforms and most social media platforms would use several images of the same trip to appeal to different interests of users. So the trip curator can also toggle between the visibility of these trips, where once the trip is removed, it's not visible to the trip goer, but it is still visible to the trip curator. So I'll toggle it back on so I can perform the payments and other functionality. Now the trip curator, which is a tourism company, can also view all the bookings made on the platform, all the bookings made in relation to their trips on the platform. So over here, they can see that 8 bookings have been made by the same person during testing, and they can view the date for which the person has booked to join the trip. So they can view the number of seats, etc. So the creator can also add trips where they can select the dates that the trip starts and ends, as well as the number of seats available on that trip. And an important feature is the ability to add multiple locations separated by commas. So I can do this. And then add multiple locations as well as toggle between statuses. So going back to the booking platform, I will tap on a trip, tap on book now to begin the booking process, and then enter information about the trip goer, which is myself in this case. So I want to book for 3 seats. and then my emergency contact is called James, and then I would enter a number for James. So right here too, you can see that the price for the trip is dynamic to the um, the number of people selected. So I tap on payment, and then payment is processed through Paystack, which is the payments processor for this project. And then very quickly, I tap on confirm, and then payment is processed and sent to my mobile phone, where I enter my PIN, and after a few short seconds, the validation is confirmed, and then payment is made. So while we wait for that, I'll switch to the bookings view so that we can see the addition from 8 to 1 extra trip. So we can see the reference for the payment as well. And you're redirected back to the index page. So when I refresh this, I can see that 9 bookings have been made for my trip. And going back to my email, I can view validation that yes, payment has actually been made to the payment provider. So this brings me to the end of the video recording. Thank you for your time.